Hello, and welcome to an episode of Todd Talks, and Todd Talks people listen. Fail. Dr. Doom does not fail. But Todd does, apparently. And I'm calling out Death Battle. Oh gosh. Okay, so we are talking today about the death battle that just happened between Lex Luthor and Dr. Doom. And yeah, I lost. Because they didn't use Apex Lex. I was for sure that they were going to use Apex Lex, and they didn't. And I am very, very ticked about it because I honestly don't know why they didn't. Because without it, this was the stomp that all of us thought that it would be. And that doesn't make me happy. So I'm I really want to just say like this loss doesn't count because I was calling out for Apex Lex and I knew that that could be. I still think that Apex Lex could beat Doom, and they even showed it. They even showed it twice in, or they teased it twice in the death battle, and in regards to one of his origins, and then they showed him for Perpetua, or however you say your name. And but yeah, he wasn't included, and I lost. So I've already got as many losses now as I did all of last season. That doesn't make me happy. I mean, I really don't know why they didn't use Apex Lex, and they even showed the Doom symbol in the cover art for the song Apex of Doom, and they called it Apex of Doom. Why would you call it that if you're not going to reference Apex Lex? I I don't know. I mean, I thought that they're supposed to be an accurate kind of show, but that's none of my business. Like my Shazam Cup. Yeah, he won at least. He won at least. All right, so let's get to the battle. Yeah, I'm honestly not happy. I really am not. But I mean, they did break down. I mean, they did make cases with a standard Lex Luthor as to how he could beat Doom, and they showed like he is faster technically, and he's fought foes like Larfleeze and certain other characters who could match up to characters like Sentry and everything. But I mean, we all knew it didn't matter. We all knew it didn't matter. I mean, this was never a contest. Not because Lex isn't smarter. We all know who he is, and given enough time in certain fights, he probably could have figured out a way to kill Doom, no doubt. The problem is that Doom is just so OP, and we all knew that going into this fight. This. I'm really angry about this. I mean, you know me. I don't get angry about results or whatever, even when I lose, because usually there's a logical explanation for it. Like with what happened with Yoda and King Mickey, I didn't understand the logistics behind some of the things that happened in Kingdom Hearts. Shock, I know. But or even Gray and S Death last year, that was one of my two losses. And unlike Red versus Blue, where I was fine with that loss, I underestimated S Death's abilities and how Gray could absorb them. So that was just a fundamental miscalculation. That's fine. I can accept that. I'm just really mad because they're like, oh, this is gonna be a great matchup, and Chad was even teasing in the Death Battle cast. There's so many twists and turns coming, and I'm like, okay, then that means he's gonna start out with Lex, then go to the armor, then go Apex Lex, and that didn't happen, and I'm really mad about that because again, Doom is just so OP. All right, he loses because of his ego, not because of his lack of power. They've mentioned that now in two death battles. So I don't know. I mean, I'm disappointed, and I'm not gonna tweet at them. I'm not gonna be angry and rage. It's like, oh, you should have used Apex Lex. It clearly was canon, and it is canon. But and I know some people were asking about God Emperor Doom. It's a different set of circumstances. He was intentionally powered by the Molecule Man, who was constantly given power because he was enslaved by Doom, versus Perpetua just resurrected Lex as the Apex Predator, or sorry, the Apex Lex. It you know what I mean. So it's different, and thus it wasn't like infinitely reliant on Perpetua's powers. So disappointed. Like Hulk said, disappointed. And I want to know that a lot of people thought Hulk was going to beat Broly, but I took a swing on Broly and I won, and I took a swing on Lex, thinking that they would use Apex less than Lex, and I lost. The fight was fine. I mean, they did tease it to where Lex could win, and you even wondered at some point whether Lex was gonna find a way to pull it out. And I was really hoping that he would just. Sorry, someone's upstairs. Just so that I wouldn't have a second loss. But I mean, once he did the mind swap, you're like, ah, crap, here it comes. So sadly, yes, I have lost, and now I am 1-2, and yeah. We'll just have to see how it goes. Because next time on Death Battle, which has been confirmed as a 2D fight by Luis, it will be Geese Howard and Heihachi from Tekken. So yeah, King of Fighters versus Tekken. The first time this kind of fight has gone on in terms of franchises made, because the only Tekken character we've had was Jin versus Ryu, and then King of Fighters we had Terry Bogard versus Ken Masters. So this will be good, especially since, as you saw in the teaser preview, they've met before via Tekken 7. So yeah, this is gonna be an interesting fight. It's gonna be, I don't want to say basic. Basic is insulting to fighting games, but it's gonna be a little more easy to figure out. There we go. Easy to figure out a winner here, I feel, because it's about technique and who they scale to versus their infinite arsenals like what we have with Doom and Lex. So yeah, still disappointed. And with that disappointment, I am ending this episode of Todd Talk. What did you think of Lex versus Doctor Doom? Are you excited for Heihachi and Geese Howard? And how do you think that will go? Let me know in the comments below. So I thank you for watching. If you made this far, I know you were listening, and I'll see you around.